Hello, welcome to the Free Cheese episode 296. I'm your Joe Dix, joined by Matt Zellner.
Hello.
The Free Cheese is a weekly video game podcast about video games brought to you once a week by thefreecheese.com. Sup?
I'm here.
You made it?
I made it.
You made it?
Yeah.
Tyler Block took it out of you?
Yeah. And then, yeah.
Happy Tyler Block Day.
I miss that man.
I know, me too. Fucking Detroit. Earl's up and about, as you can hear.
He's in his office.
In his office, yeah, he's getting some work done up there. Weird show this week. Good show last week, though. I tell you what.
Yeah.
You and Mark. You made history. You know that.
Yeah.
Never been done before. Mostly because I always had the computer.
I didn't know, I didn't think time was going to be an issue for us. And then before I know, I look over and it's an hour and 50 minutes. I'm like, God damn.
Oh. Yeah. It goes quick, man.
Yeah.
You gotta know when to cut shit, you know? Get people to stop talking about auto chess. Move on to the next topic.
No, there's always time for auto chess.
Debatable.
Always time for anything that Dota 2 client nowadays.
Very debatable. How's your week?
Good. I don't know.
You made that face like it was good.
It's a blur.
But like my stomach hurt the whole time. That's the face you made.
Well, it started off great.
Yeah.
And then I've seen the capitals just slowly decline into madness.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
doing so hot.
Yeah. You know, I know you hate doing this.
I
but
know.
like,
I know.
breaking kayfabe here. Game 5 would be tonight, and I would be in DC to witness it. So, like, he's gonna go one way or the other.
So you're listening to this right now, and you know where Matt's at mentally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When they lost, I might
have to
Thursday
close
night.
the blinds. Like.
Yeah, when they lost Thursday night, Friday morning.
Yeah.
One,
you do get defeated in a weird way.
I had a little teeny tiny little headache.
Sure.
Because I had to drink that extra beer when I was frustrated and mad.
You're not supposed to drink out of that. You know, that's what leads to problems. So
So
it
I
leads
had
to you
that-
waking up one morning and going, what happened to all these people?
So I had a little headache. And then, yeah, it was just like... It was one of those things where, like, I was doing work, had my AirPods in, and, like, I knew people were talking to me, but I blatantly ignored them. Like, my music was too loud because I didn't feel like dealing with anyone. Yeah, it does...
Were you listening to Limp Bizkit?
No.
Is this one of those days?
No, I was trying to pick up my mood, so I was listening to Rocket League music.
Oh.
Yeah.
Where?
Apple
Like
Music.
they have like a...
Yeah.
That's neat. I am here to report that the new and improved Butterfinger is not such. Did I give you the full details on this? Because I'm real upset.
I forgot that they did that. But that was that commercial of the weird alien, right?
Don't know. Don't care. I'm upset. Last week, in a hotel room, commercials popping up for new and improved Butterfinger. And I was like, oh, shit. I haven't had a Butterfinger in a real long while. I should get a Butterfinger. It's the first opportunity I find myself inside of a convenience store. Oh, yeah, let me grab that Butterfinger. I see it. Got bright new packaging. Okay, let's go. Let's do this.
They're all in.
I get back, have my lunch. Time for the Butterfinger. Take a bite. The chocolate tastes mildly like... It tastes mildly like the milk had gone sour just before they made the chocolate. And I was like, all right, let's get into that peanut butter. Let me get that good airy, Butterfinger's got that good air style to it, to the peanut butter in the middle. No. Like, it still had that a little bit, but it still had the part where it gets stuck in your teeth for way too long.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it still had
you save
that.
it for later.
But it didn't have that, like, tang to it. You know what I mean? Like
That endangered tang.
That endangered tang. That good old chocolate tang. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
So I was like, man, this sucks. I want to get classic-style Butterfinger. How do I do that? Look it up. Turns out, Matt, Nestle, previous owner of Butterfinger, sold.
What is going on up there?
Dude, they're upset. They did not like the new Butterfinger either.
The mail must have came. That's the only thing.
It's probably mail. Yeah. I'm going to go up and shut the blinds before we start talking about video games. But I I looked at Nestle, parent company of the Butterfinger, sold Butterfinger to Ferrero Rocher, the Italian chocolatiers, last January.
That sounds like a win for Butterfinger in a weird way.
It
would be.
Theoretically, had they kept the recipe. But they changed it, and what they say improved. Turns out they removed molasses from the recipe and increased cocoa. It doesn't work.
Damn. That's a shame.
However, the good news is, Katie and I ventured out the other night on a hunt for old Butterfinger.
This explains the pile of Butterfingers in your refrigerator.
That is correct. We're looking everywhere we go. New Butterfinger, trash Butterfinger, bright yellow packaging Butterfinger. That's not my Butterfinger. We're nearly about to give up hope, and like a ray of shining light emerging from the darkness, Katie goes, wait a second, pushes the Wawa. They had the new Butterfinger box on top of the old Butterfinger box because someone didn't know how to rotate stock. Thankfully, in this case, pushed that shit to the side. Found old style orange package Butterfinger. Grabbed up 5 of them. Got a couple buried in the backyard. A couple in the fridge. Ate one. Took me back. That good Butterfinger.
Dude, that's like that's probably going to be the plot for Zombieland 2. You'll be like Woody Harrelson looking for that last Butterfinger.
That
zombie
original
apocalypse.
recipe.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's bad.
And you'll open up the truck of new Butterfinger, get real pissed off like when you found the snowballs.
Because fuck that. It's not good. Have you had something like that that's either gone away or changed or... Like, not that I'm a huge you know what I mean? Like, I don't live my life by Butterfinger, but I enjoy a good Butterfinger occasionally.
I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
Like, I think Surge was a big one when we lost Surge. That was hard, tough on me. They brought it back, but you can only get it at Burger King's and those fucking bullshit I kind of want to go to Burger King and get Surge today. But yeah, it's only in the freestyle machine, so it's not really Surge. Although you can buy it on Amazon, which is kind of cool. But it didn't taste exactly the same.
I can't think of anything off the top of my head. Like, I know it was always sad when Game Fuel went away.
Oh, yeah. But now that we know that can come back, you know?
Well, it's like kind of always around now, too.
But back the Halo 3 days, it was like, oh, shit, man,
better
this shit's
get
gone.
your 4 cases.
That's exactly what Akko did. Until, rest in peace, it fucking exploded on the top of his bookshelf. Rained down on everything.
Damn.
Yeah, it sucked. I remember,
like
years...
literally raining blood.
Yeah, I had forgot about it, and I asked Akko about it. I was like, dude, you still got all that Game Fuel? And he was like, nah. I was like, oh, shit. Something bad happened? He's like, yeah, don't talk about it. I was like, oh, fuck. All right. Yeah, because he had, like, the Spartan helmet and everything up on the shelf, and I think it fucked up everything. Oh, man. Just got all the wild noises up there today. PB Crisps. Planners got rid of those. Did me dirty. That sucked.
I miss Butterfinger BBs. Bart Simpson.
I know.
I actually enjoy the BBs more than the actual Butterfinger.
Because you can pop them.
Yeah, when you bite into a Butterfinger, you lose about 30% of the Butterfinger to
it's
the
all
floor.
over you. Yeah. It's a bad style.
BB.
You're popping them and dropping them. That's what I always do. Well,
Bart Simpson made you want to skateboard.
I still do. I forgot about Butterfinger BBs for a decade, as we all did, once the commercials dried up. I was working at a Best Buy in high school for like a little extra cash seasonal thing. Go to a gas station around the corner from the Best Buy. Lo and behold, Butterfinger BBs. Now, this turns out, in my Butterfinger research this week, the timeline lines up because that would have been December of 2006, around holiday, in my senior year of high school. Butterfinger BBs, according to Wikipedia, I saw the other day, ran until 2006. It was right at the end of the tail. I found a random package, ate them, loved them, and they were gone.
Yeah, sad.
Yeah.
As long as Nestle holds on to the Stouffer's, if they change that Stouffer's lasagna recipe,
dude, I mean, if
the end
they
of the
can
world
fuck
will
up
come.
Butterfinger, apparently they sold Butterfinger and Baby Ruth. I might be wrong about that. I can't remember.
That sounds right, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah. Did you play any video games this week?
Hardly.
No, not a lot this week.
Yeah, like I said earlier, I don't know. I may have. I just don't remember. It's all like a blur.
I had to sit down this morning and open up every video game app that I own
To see.
Like, what the fuck did I do this week? I like opened my
I
Switch
shoulda did
before you
that.
got here, and I was just like, I guess I didn't really do anything, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, because this is a weird time of year. Well, not weird, but like baseball's still fresh.
Yeah.
Even if I know that Orioles are bad, I still like watching them, or at least having them on in the background. I've been watching wrestling. Has been a superstar shakeup.
Oh right, they're
Switching brands.
sending them back and forth
Yeah.
between.
Seeing what the new rosters look like there. And then hockey, the Capitals playoffs is, of course, like diehard Caps fan here, but I also do like watching the other games too. Just like playoff hockey is a different beast than regular season. So yeah, I don't know, I've been watching more TV than anything.
Yeah, I get that.
I guess I really didn't play Sekiro much. I beat one more boss since the last time I talked. I think it was the one that Mark has been hinting at me trying to, or getting excited to see, and that was a cool moment / fight. I won't speculate much more because it is kind of a spoiler.
Yeah, okay.
For at least for like a boss fight in that game,
Yeah.
and I want you to.
Yeah, I started it this week, but it's not much. Like I got through the part where you sneak through the grass.
Tutorial.
I got into the building where the little girl gives you the sword, and then I was like, all right, let's go cut some shit. And then
Kuro.
Who?
Kuro, isn't that the person?
Sure, I don't remember.
Oh no, wait. Oh, now I forget the.
I don't even know. But I got out of that, and I was about to like make my way downtown, walk fast, and then Katie was like, "Hey, you want to watch these shows?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, I guess we should do that." So
Did you
then
do the?
I did some TV.
So you just did the sneak, and you didn't even do like the intro boss fight.
No, I haven't killed.
Okay.
I haven't
Yeah, I
swung
never
the
got
sword.
that.
Like I literally got the sword, ran upstairs because I figured there was a secret up there, and sure enough, there was.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. I did not like the like. I don't know. I go back and forth on this in my head. I didn't like the tooltips popping up right away. Like, that opening cutscene did so much to kind of set the tone of that game and immerse me in the world, like, pretty quickly. Because, you know, that's not my favorite setting. But I was like, okay, I'm in. And then we drop in. It was like, press left stick to fucking walk. And I was like, come on, dude.
Oh, didn't they do that, though, in Bloodborne? Like, with the little... The messages on the ground?
Yeah, but that was the part that was like, there's a message on the ground. It was I don't know. I don't like it.
I mean, of course, like, the walk stuff goes away. But, like, it...
Yeah.
At least when I'm playing it, like, it still says, like, when I'm next to a wall that I can. And usually it's marked, like Uncharted style. Not necessarily, like, yellow, but...
Yeah.
Like, there's, like, a white kind of pattern to it.
Yeah.
But, like, sometimes it's, like, you just kind of, like, forget. Like, for
yeah.
some reason, like, when I'm playing it, there's just moments where I'm just, like, kind of traversing the world, and, like, I forget that this is Sekiro and not Bloodborne. So, like, I forget I can double jump up a ledge. I can hang.
Yeah, that was kind of weird. Like, doing the jumps, I mean, any of that, the mobility. And I didn't get the grappling hook yet, but I know that stuff's coming, and that seems...
You get that, like, once you...
Yeah.
Yeah. Once you do that from software first boss, that's when you...
I'm excited. I'm excited for you to leave so I can start it. Or fuck, I gotta go to the grocery store. But after that, that's probably gonna be the weekend.
Yeah. And then I guess the main thing I've been playing is Rocket League.
Yeah.
Weirdly enough.
That's that. It's like having a Butterfinger, man. Yeah.
Well, in this case, the formula didn't change though.
No, but it's always good to go back, at least before shit got bad, you know? But hey.
This isn't getting bad, though.
You don't know, man. What if they decide, hey, we're going to sell this to Ferrero Rocher? Ferrero Rocher's Rocket League. Brought to you by bullshit.
No, the only thing bad that could happen is EA buys this game. Or
I don't think...
They're not.
Yeah,
this company's
too...
Yeah, they're doing too well with money. That shit pops up like every now and then on Steam's like top downloads.
People love fucking Rocket League. Even like I remember people that I didn't expect to love Rocket League, you know? It's pretty cool.
Soccer cars, man. Like, who would have thought? It's like a cool physics engine, soccer, and cars.
Have you gone back to the old one?
I never played the old one. Nah, I feel like it's too late. That ship sailed.
I just want to see like how much of that DNA was there, and Because it was huge. Like, people liked it.
It had a small niche following.
Yeah.
And then, like, well, they talked about it in that documentary.
Yeah.
That, like, they brought that one guy in to help with, like, the physics design and stuff, which is cool. Like, EA claims they do with their influencers and bullshit. What do they call that?
I heard about that with, like, the Titan, fucking Apex. They brought someone in to do stuff like that.
It's fucking stupid. But, like...
But there were things that they said made meaningful changes.
Like, you should be doing that. It shouldn't be, like, touting, oh, well, we brought in the community for this game.
Marketing sucks, you know?
You had that fucking tool. The new Need for Speed,
It's,
that fucking Hank Hill laugh in the middle of
that was rough.
Goddamn.
E3 is real close, Matt. Just a couple months away. Not even a couple months. We're under the 2-month mark.
God, that's scary.
No, it's not. It's fucking thrilling.
It's thrilling, but scary how fast the year has gone and how many yearly predictions I've gotten wrong already.
Yeah, more on that later. But yeah.
Yeah, I guess I think I'm going to do the Rocket Pass thing again. I'm just trying to decide where I want to buy it at because it doesn't transfer.
That sucks, man.
I don't know if I want to do it on Xbox.
You've been playing there mostly lately?
Yeah. I don't know why. Mostly because that's been the thing that's been hooked up.
Yeah.
Because when I dog sat for you,
yeah,
I never when I got home, it didn't really connect it right away.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then I had to bring it back over here to record.
Yeah. That video is going up or is already up if you want to see us play some baseball. MLB The Show 19.
And then, then I think it's still just on the floor, disconnected.
As it should be.
So yeah, my Xbox is the only thing that's plugged in. That's probably why I haven't played Sekiro, is because I haven't felt like plugging in my PlayStation.
Yeah, I get that.
And then, of course, I've been fucking around with Dota and Auto Chess.
Yeah. No, I turned on my PlayStation for the first time the other night because I was prepping it for Mortal Kombat, making sure I had hard drive space and all that. And I was like, oh shit, why haven't I touched this in a while? But it's just because the Xbox is already turned on, or my Switch can go in my hands or on a plane.
Yeah, sometimes that's just the case. Sometimes you don't feel like taking the 30 seconds to plug in your stuff.
Yeah, no.
I actually do Auto Chess. I don't know if you know, the mobile game is starting to come out.
I heard. Did you get in? Did you try?
So it's only on iOS, it's not on iOS. It's only on Android.
You can get an emulator on your
Nah, it's not that big of a deal. Yeah, it's in alpha. I think they're calling it alpha. I saw some pictures of it. I mean, it looks the same. They kind of shifted the UI a little bit. Like, instead of the leaderboard being on the right, it's to the left.
Wow. Big changes.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't, I've seen some pictures of the art of the characters, but, I want to see it, on my phone or iPad or wherever.
Is that going to be a phone game or an iPad game for you?
iPad.
I feel like you need the real estate.
Yeah.
I also
feel like my 24-inch display sometimes isn't big enough.
Like the length of those games too, I can't imagine playing it on a phone. Like maybe I don't know how that would work. I don't know, but
it's weird. Like the rank that I'm at, the games last 35 minutes, but if you watch streamers and stuff, their games could go 50 minutes.
Jeez.
It's
that's too much.
Oh, it's weird. There's different. It's like a fucking Dota game. There's games where if all the stars align and it goes your way, it's a 15-minute game.
Sure.
And then if all the stars in the line, you're sitting at your computer for an hour and a half. I played a turbo game. Usually turbo games 20,
25 minutes.
A 40-minute turbo game the other day.
Whoa.
It's what the fuck?
Yeah, no. I don't I find myself falling into certain things as I'm laying in bed, dicking around on my phone. That just doesn't seem like the game that I would be like, oh, I'm in bed, but I'm not going to bed, Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we're saying that, but we're sitting here talking about if Artifact hit iOS, an Artifact game is 20 minutes.
Artifact's different though. Maybe. I don't fucking
But it's 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And it's even less engaging because Auto Chess, you're constantly thinking. Once you kind of get the gist of it, you're constantly thinking and scouting, and you're not really wasting a second.
Waiting.
You're kind of waiting for some things to happen in Artifact.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's been my week. I'm fucking watching the Caps be a disappointment.
Hey,
but it's Capitals playoff hockey. We got called it cardiac caps for a reason.
cardiac. Oh, because I can't get it. I played some Final Fantasy VII on the Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, and I own that on Nintendo Switch, and I still haven't touched it.
I got further than I've ever gotten before, which is cool. Like, I know that there's a world map in that game. Never knew that before. Never left Midgar before, but here we are out there trying to steal chocobos. I'm going to read the only note that I wrote down while I was on the plane. Final Fantasy VII, they threatened to cut off a dude's dick. Earl's asleep.
When is that? I don't remember.
Couldn't tell you. I honestly don't remember. I think it was maybe the dude at Shinra headquarters when they like fucking grabbed him. They were like, "Hey!"
Oh yeah. All right, yep.
I think they talked about or some trying to get a key card. Don't know.
Yeah. Because you're going around the Shinra headquarters. I remember that room. It's like 5 rooms. You need to get the key cards in a certain order to unlock the doors, and you're going between levels.
Yep. Yeah.
I've played that section of the game so many times.
So
it's
much.
like a.
It's good though. I finally get to see Sephiroth. Like I saw that whole flashback play out.
That's a really cool.
They do that tease where you're like,
What do you think of? Not to cut you off, but that moment in Shinra headquarters where the game turns into like a horror scene for about 5 seconds.
When
you look into the tank, right before you break out, Red 13.
Yeah.
You look into that tank.
And
you see Genova for the first time.
Oh yeah.
First time I played that as a kid.
Yeah, I can imagine that
terrifying.
one fucking some people up. It's I was talking to I was talking to my brother about it this week because I remember my friend playing Final Fantasy VII being so excited about it and like so into it, but my exposure to the game was limited to the times I would go over to his house. So it would be like, I wrote about this on the website years ago, but you'd show up and you'd see like he'd be super stoked because he had another encounter with Sephiroth, or he just got. And I have no like context for any of this stuff. It's a 100-hour game that I'm seeing, at hour 7 for 4 minutes, and then you can't ask questions because he just wants to play it, and it's like, why the fuck did I even come over here? And then you go home. And that was my experience with Final Fantasy, the series, forever.
To bring up the question I posed a week ago, that main menu does not have the trailer on it on the Switch version.
Yeah, that's a bummer. I also saw like some post clickbaity bullshit that said like, there's a game-breaking bug in the Switch version of Final Fantasy VII. And I was like, all right. And I looked at it, and it didn't happen to me. It's when you're still in Midgar and you get the batteries from that dude, and you have to climb the tower to put the batteries in. Apparently the kid that like says you can climb up the thing doesn't spawn at random. There's some bug that triggers him not to spawn, but I had already gotten past it, so I was fine by the time I read it. But if you're listening, be aware.
Yeah, be careful. Yeah, that sucks too because depending on how you're playing it, it takes a couple hours to get to that part.
Yeah. If you have a save, you can go back, but
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's one of those games I do multiple saves just in case.
Yeah. I've been playing that a little bit. I played it mostly last week on the plane. When I got back in and I was, itching for an RPG, I went back to Phantasy Star because I never quite finished that. Something about that game's just weirdly alluring, but thanks, Earl. But yeah, I don't know. I like it.
There's nothing wrong with liking it.
It's just a weird. It's so weird. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. It just feels foreign in a way. Like we're so used to Final Fantasy that Phantasy Star just seems. I can't think of like a good analog to that. I don't know. It's like if you had a friend who grew up loving Alex Kidd and had never heard of Mario. You're like, what the fuck's wrong with you? But in a cooler way.
I mean, sports-wise, like anyone, like who played like the 2K ESPN games and like they weren't exposed to Madden at all.
Yeah, I mean, it's that kind of, yeah.
Back in the day when there was actually competition with the sports games and they weren't all franchises bought up.
Wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah, NHL, please.
Yeah. But one that I spent a lot of time with, going back and forth with, was Dragon's Fury, or Devil's Crush, as it was known in its original release. But I was playing Dragon's Fury, the Genesis release. It's part of the Crush series of pinball games. Holy shit, dude! I'm gonna probably put music from this game in this episode, unless I don't. But it's just the music is really good. It's really well designed digital pinball. It's set in like a weird, like occult dragon wizard, but not like dumb wizard stuff, like cool wizard stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay.
Like demon wizard stuff. It's really weird. You play, it's 3 levels on the pinball board. So you launch the thing, it goes up, and there's 3 sets of flippers.
Oh,
so,
okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Most of the gameplay happens on the second stage of flippers, that medium section. And it's all, it's pinball. So you're trying to open ramps and go up the ramps to, do different things. But the objectives are like, there's like 6 little gremlin lemming looking dudes that come out and just like march with little fucking pitchforks, and you have to knock all of them, and then it opens up a ramp, and you go in the ramp, and it takes you inside of like a mini game where you have to hit a bunch of dudes. It's just all weird. It just looks really good. I think it looks best on Genesis. The TurboGrafx version's decent, and has a little bit more of the like occult imagery. It got toned down for the Genesis release, but I don't know, something about it just really, sorry, I'm like stumbling over my words. It just like pulled you in, and then I didn't want to leave. Like, it's a good pinball game. You just kind of sit there and keep going and keep going and keep going. And this one definitely had that like full ass immersion where I was just.
No, that's good.
As I'm saying it, I can hear the music just like looping in my head. It's got a good loop too, because you're gonna hear that music over and over and over and over. To have it be that good that early was really nice. I had never heard of that shit before, but stumbled upon it and just started playing it. Really fucking good. And I kept going back like over the last 2 weeks. Like, I was playing it before you guys recorded last week's episode, and then all this week I kept jumping back into it. It's real cool. And then Nintendo Labo VR came out.
Great.
There you go. So, I'm going to break things down between building, using, and games. So the building. I had never done any of the Labo stuff, although I had seen it being put together before. Super intuitive. The flow, that whole process of like putting stuff together, the way they put that is like fun and engaging. It shows you what to do as you're doing it, and there's just like a certain charm about it as you're kind of advancing through the tutorials on screen. It's super interactive too, so if you're like kind of curious on, wait, how do I fold this, which most of it's pretty straightforward, but just in case, you can like pinch and zoom in, turn, like it's full 3D models you can rotate.
Yeah, I like the idea of the 3D model, because there's just been Legos before where I'm like,
how
that
the
angle,
fuck? Yeah,
like, what the fuck is, where'd that come from?
Right, they have a little
I didn't
circle
see that 5 steps ago.
zoomed into air, and it's like, no, that doesn't help. Yeah, no, it's cool. You can do that. You can like pull it apart. It's really neat. You can always like immediately rewind or fast forward in the build process. Really, really easy to put things together and get it up and running. The actual VR. So using it, I was surprised that it fit over my glasses. Like, my instinct was to take my glasses off because I was putting it together, didn't have my contacts in. But it fit right over. Like, there's enough depth between the lenses and your face.
Yeah, it definitely seemed roomy.
Glasses fit easy. And it doesn't cover your nose, so there's no fog that gets projected up on either your glasses or the VR headset, which is nice because my only exposure with VR has been outside of Virtual Boy, but and Beachhead 3000 is PlayStation VR, where I found myself often like fogging it up just by breathing. That was a good surprise. The one downside to it, as like overly emphasizing as the whole setup and construction was on different things, and it made sure like, hey, you don't touch these lenses, don't touch the lenses, don't touch the lenses. Didn't give you that reminder after you've been fingering your screen for a while. Wipe down your screen before you put it in. So I slide it in. I've got a big old Oswald hair like right on the lens. I've got all these like fingerprints. It's like, oh, this looks shitty. So I had to pop it back out and like wipe it down and then put it in. It wasn't bad, but it was definitely just like that first experience looking through. It's like, shit. It feels natural, but it also feels like those little Viewmaster toys where you look through and see pictures of fucking the Lion King or whatever the hell. Mm-hmm. It's got that toy. It's a toy. Like this is like, oh yeah, right. Nintendo didn't always make video games. They used to make toys too.
Not too long ago they were still made toys.
Well, like 50 years ago. That's what you're
5.
So the actual like VR playground, or I forget what they call it, but the games that you play, they're all mini games, which I didn't expect much out of, and to be frank, there's not much to get out of them. Some of them are kind of neat, some of them are kind of aggravating, some of them are dumb. Now I bought the starter kit that just has the goggles and the gun. Did not put the gun together yet. From my understanding, the gun game is kind of cool, but to put that gun together, it's a few hours with a lot of rubber bands, and I just didn't want to take that time this week.
Fair enough.
But there's the mini games themselves. So I was surprised because everything we had seen leading up to this with the headset showed people holding the Joy-Con on the side of their heads the whole time and playing like that. And I was like, that's going to get old really quickly. Like that sounds like shit. But I didn't think how else you could do it because I was like, there's no, the motion's going to come from the right Joy-Con from the IR sensor. But nope, built right into the Switch itself. There's a gyrometer built into that, which I didn't realize. Which I guess makes sense because you've got like motion controls and different things. But yeah, I always figured that would be attuned to the Joy-Con, not the Switch itself.
Yeah, I guess. So
you can move your head. I mean, holding it, obviously. And it does that kind of, movement in the game. A couple of the games were weird. Like they seemingly, I think I was telling you about it the other day.
You're talking about the baseball one specifically.
The baseball one, like, baseball's intuitive. Everyone knows what to do when a baseball gets thrown at you and you're holding like a Joy-Con.
Bat or a paddle or whatever, yeah.
So in the game, you have this, like, it looks like a long blue 2x4. And someone throws a ball, well, let me hit it. But there's no, the speed of it, like, the way that the thing in your hand moves in the game is so quick. Like, it's not like you would actually move a bat, or if you were holding that actual thing, the physics doesn't feel right. It's loose. It's just.
Yeah, I saw Tyler playing it, and he was like barely moving his wrist.
You
see
and
to
these
be like
big
hitting it.
sweeps. Yeah. But the first time I did it, I didn't read everything on the screen. Like, a ball came and I hit it, and then it just went flying, but I didn't know where it went or how to aim it. It took me like several tries to realize or read that it said you have to press A to slow down time. And then once you do that, the ball gets really close. And then it makes sense why the thing in your hand is so like fluid, but just not that intuitive. Same thing. There's like a kitchen game where you're standing in a kitchen. You have to like move shit around. It's more like an interactive. It felt like a super like a
Job Simulator.
It felt like that, but like obviously Job Simulator was like so well realized and brought together. This feels more like
scripted.
Not scripted, just like like a playground. Like just like it felt like stuff that like if we were learning how to code, these would be exercises we would build to put together. Like
got it.
Like if we were learning a new physics engine, hey, wouldn't it be cool if we learned how to put this physics engine in this little playground space? So standing in this kitchen, you've got a pot and you've got shit you can put in the pot. You've got a thing of ketchup that you can turn upside down and little red balls just keep firing out of it. There's a gravity button you can find up in the cabinet if you open it and reach for it, and then that'll turn off gravity, and then the water in the sink starts rising. It's silly little goofy
stuff that EA should be having their teams do with Frostbite so they get to know the engine.
If only. But, Andromeda 2's coming.
Giving them that time, and,
Yeah, if I were a kid, this would be the coolest fucking thing in the world.
Yeah.
And even being a 30-year-old kid, it's still like, this is pretty neat. It is, anyone who ever thought that this was, and I never did, but like anyone thinking this is gonna be or could be or whatever is Nintendo's answer to V, like it's not gonna compete with any of that stuff at all. I don't think they ever intended to.
I don't think. Yeah, I mean, for crying out loud,
it's fucking
the
cardboard.
Switch is in a cardboard. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like
it's,
and you're holding it with one hand.
Right. But yeah, it was fun, like putting it together, dicking around with it. They have like a whole little like 30 different videos in this playlist that are all like VR video things that play out. And I was looking through it on the couch and just kind of like chuckling. And Katie was like, "What?" And I was like, "Look." And I handed it to her. And she was like, "Ooh, do the next one." And literally sat there and went through all 30 of them. And I was like, "Okay, cool. I guess that sounds like fun." I'm just sitting there hitting the buttons and she can watch them all. And she's like, "Wow." And
next?
Like, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
She's like, "Okay, it's done. Hit the next one." I was like, "Oh, fuck." So it can definitely pull you in and be an engaging experience. But then as soon as they were done, I was like, "Do you want to try one of the games?" She's like, "No, I'm good." Like it's bite size. It's just that. The next week, what is it? Next Thursday, or later this week, the Zelda and Mario stuff drops. So I will poke around with those and see if there's anything worthwhile.
So the Zelda one's just camera movement, right?
Yeah, I'm curious to see how that looks though. And feels, because I don't know.
Like, I'll be more excited for the Mario one.
The Mario one seems like it's
like
something
it
actually to do.
Yeah.
I'm just curious to see what the fuck they actually do with the Zelda one. It seems like pointless. Like I'm not gonna play that game like that. If I can get a hair strap or cut up an old pair of underwear and strap that thing to my fucking head, then
sure. But I don't know.
But I also
I don't know on that one.
No,
I just don't see the point, but whatever.
Yeah, I guess
I just don't think it was that hard to do. I think the two interns are like, all right, make the camera move.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
then again, I could be. I don't know the code, so it could be completely wrong, and it took a whole team,
maybe
multiple days, weeks.
I read an interview with one of the there was like a blurb on the Breath of the Wild website, like announcing the update that kind of detailed more of it, and they were talking about how they were dicking around once they got VR, like they got the VR prototype up and running for Labo, and they brought it over to their team to show them, and they were like, "Oh, can we try this?" And it was that, and they were like, "Let's just turn it into a thing and put it out as an update." So, I guess they had fun with it enough that it was worthwhile to pursue and put out. We'll see.
I guess, yeah.
If I can feel a level of immersion in that world that I didn't before, which I don't know. I have no idea.
It just seems like it's cool, I guess, but I just don't want them, spending like a month on developing this when it could have been a month like doing something else,
Interns.
That's what I'm saying. Two interns and share a cubicle.
Yeah. What was it? The sound as well. So the cardboard does a really good job of pushing that sound out in a way that makes you feel like you're in it.
Oh, I didn't even think about that part.
It was real. The way they kind of built the acoustics of that, I guess. Just the way that sound bounces off and comes forward, but also somehow still hits your ears. Really, really well engineered. Don't know how they did it, but I was impressed. That I felt so in it. There's a depth to it too. Like when you hit the ball in the baseball game, like you hear it on the right side as it travels to the left. That part was neat. I didn't expect that. Yeah. Well, before we jump into a break and subsequently the news, I want to take a moment because yesterday, April 21st, is the 30th anniversary of the Game Boy, brought to you by Nintendo. I thought we were talking about Game Boy for a minute. Because I love Game Boy. A whole lot.
Yeah.
Did you ever have a Game Boy?
Oh, yeah.
Which one?
So me and my sister shared the original gray one.
Mm-hmm.
And then once I got to an age where I was starting to play it more and more and she wanted to play it, my parents eventually decided, all right, let's get the second one. And she got the red one.
The Pocket or the OG?
She got OG red one.
Right, I forgot they did those.
So yeah, then I kept the gray one.
Yeah.
I swear, we found. So we just, I just got it in my room about 6 months ago or something like that. I threw out a bunch of shit, And we were going through, and my sister was actually helping me with it. And we found the Game Boy.
Nice.
I think we found the red one.
Nice.
But I could not find the other. I can't remember now. We found the gray one or the red one. I want to say it was the red one.
Yeah.
And I can't find another one. And I know.
Wouldn't have gotten rid of it.
I know I wouldn't have gotten rid of it.
Right. That's what we lost ours. We had, like, Tetris is the first game I remember playing as a kid. Like, that's one of my earliest memories is playing Tetris. But I remember it on the NES more than the Game Boy. But we always had a Game Boy. The Game Boy came out the same year I did. I was released in 1989. And, yeah, like, we had one. And at some point, we had 2 gray ones. I don't remember when the second one came. I don't remember if my parents both had one when I have no idea. But we had them forever. Like, of all the things that my brother and I sold off, like, we got rid of our NES and our Genesis to buy a PS2 and got rid of the Nomad, unfortunately. It was a fucking mistake. Yeah. Fuck yeah. But we got rid of all that stuff. We never got rid of those Game Boys. Even though we had got Game Boy Colors that, you know, in theory played those games, you know, better. Or,
high res.
Right. Or, yeah, like... You know, it was a different experience for us having the color, and we definitely used those more. We still never got rid of those OG Game Boys. I think mostly because my mom, like, would still pick up and play Tetris here and there. And I remember all the way through high school, we had them, like, on a shelf of an entertainment center in the basement. Just sitting there, like, you'd come over, you'd hang out, you'd grab the Game Boy and play. And then we moved out of that house, and I never saw them again. And I don't know if... There was, like, a couple things that got lost in that move. Which was weird because we were so diligent about.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, we cleaned that room up to down. Like, from, you know, ground to ceiling, and I could not find it. So I have no idea where it's at. Yeah, or maybe it's gone. I don't know.
Yeah. But since then, I mean, I still have my Game Boy Color, the atomic purple one. I still have most of the games that I had. I think the only one that I lost was Tetris that was in the back of that Game Boy, but. Tetris is fucking everywhere because it was a pack-in with the system. So, grabbed copies of that. And then a few years back, when I got re-obsessed with Game Boy, I imported that one from Japan, the yellow Game Boy Pocket. It's just my favorite thing. Like, I leave that on my desk upstairs. And if I'm, like, waiting on a video to render or something, or whatever, I'll turn it on and just play Tetris for 10 minutes or so. Like, I almost, even before leaving for... trip last week, I was like,
do I bring it? Yeah.
I bring my Game Boy and just play Tetris on the fucking plane. You know? Yeah. It's got surround sound, which was fucking cool. The thing, I mean, I don't remember having them, but it came packed in with headphones so you could have surround sound experience. Like, that was a cultural touchstone for sure.
That's the age of games where, like, I remember playing select games that, like, looking back, I know are terrible.
Yeah.
But, like...
It didn't matter because they were your games.
Yeah. Like Batman Return of the Joker.
Yeah. Actually, I think was that bad? There was a good Batman game on Game Boy.
I had the bad one.
Okay.
The one with Joker. Yeah, it's Joker on the front.
Yeah,
with the
just
blue
like,
background. Yep.
Yeah. Mm.
And I remember playing it and getting frustrated that, like, I can't beat it or get past, like, the second level, and then looking back, it's like, oh, well, because of a shit design.
Same thing. Like, Castlevania the Adventure has the best music at the beginning of the game. And it was always... That was my first exposure to Castlevania outside of... I had the NES cart, but it never worked.
Oh, all right.
And I would stare at that fucking haunting, menacing Dracula up in the sky and, like, always want to play that game. And I'd pop it in the NES. It would flicker between black and green screen, and the light on the front of the NES would flicker red, and it just never worked. So at one point when I got Castlevania the Adventure, it was like, finally, here's my time. I get to see what this game's all about. And, I mean, I played the shit out of that first level, but past that, it just couldn't happen. It was just hard. It's fucking poorly designed. Like, Simon didn't, or it's not Simon in that game, but, like, they tried to mimic that Simon Belmont move, and they kind of got it, but then, like, I don't know. It just didn't.
Yeah.
Not all the way there. I still love it, though. Like, that game, like, now people shit on it. Like, I mean, spoilers for news, but the rest of that Castlevania collection coming out next month got revealed, and Castlevania The Adventures in it, and I saw everyone, that game's a piece of shit, you put that in, and I was like, I'm kind of glad they did. Like, I know the game's not good, but I like that game.
Like, you know, all these other games, like, why the fuck do you care?
Yeah.
It's fine. Yeah, it was a weird time, man.
Yeah. was good. I mean, like that tech was a decade old when they put it out, and then they put it out anyway, and it worked.
So I mean, and then of course I had the Super Nintendo, so you had the Game Boy.
Super Game Boy, yeah. I remember going over to a friend's house for the first time. I was like, "What is this bootleg shit?" Like I thought it was just not because I never had Super Nintendo, and I was like, "This is a lie. This is not."
I say that cart got almost as much mileage as Super Mario World, probably.
Yeah. What did you play on the TV? What was the big like, or just any
Land? Super
Super
Mario Land.
Yeah. Did they do color palette stuff on that? On the?
A little bit.
Because I remember like,
And I think you could select there were games that it was marked on the cartridge on the Game Boy too, like ones that worked that have special features on the Super Game Boy.
Yeah.
And like those had like a different like the border had like a color palette thing that
Right.
with the game, and there was like a high res or not high res but more color palette to the game.
Yeah, they did.
Like I want to say I remember like a Toy Story game having more color.
Yeah, they did that. They would add those things to it, or they'd add in like a built-in border that would, output to the thing. In this case of fucking Space Invaders, they put a full-ass version of Space Invaders. Like they put the SNES ROM in the Game Boy cart, and when you'd pop it in the Super Game Boy, it would just play the.
That's awesome.
That was a wild one. I didn't have it, but it's one of those moments.
One of my favorite underrated games, I think, was Donkey Kong.
Oh, yeah. I never played it as a kid, but I heard everyone say, like, no, Donkey Kong on Game Boy is so fucking good. So I sought out a copy a few years back when I was, like, getting into Game Boy collecting.
And it actually got hard. And some of those levels, like, it literally scrolling, like, as you moved Mario, like.
That was really, because I kept hearing about it. I was like, how good can it be? It was really fucking good. Even, like, Tyler back in town came by and, like, I busted out the Game Boys, just threw them out on the table, and like people were just playing Game Boys. It was nice.
Yeah,
like got lost in it for a while. I was like, "Hey, y'all good?" Like, yeah, we're good playing Game Boy. I don't know. I love Game Boy a lot. It still works too. That's the weird fucked up thing. Like I got a couple carts that like what was it? Something I put in last night, just dicking around with it. I had to like turn it off, pop it back out, and pop it back in, but it fucking works. It's cool. Really cool. Game Boy. There it is. Yeah, weird. It's been a part of my life for as long as I can remember. So happy birthday, Game Boy. We're going to take a break. When we come back, there's too much news this week. Like, way too much. Like, we might trim some shit. You might even not know everything that happened because we're not going to cut anything. We'll run through everything. Unfiltered. Right after this. Just heard some dope music, and as it fades out, you know that means it's time for news. Matt.
Yes.
There's a lot of news.
Yeah, just kind of good stuff too. Not like little baby stuff,
Yeah.
like meaty.
Yeah, good meat. Some good meat. You ready for the first piece of good meat?
Yeah, bring it on.
Mario Tennis Aces 3.0 update is out. There's a new mode called Ring Shot. And a new cinematic starring Wario and Waluigi. Sorry.
Wow. The one not in Smash as a playable character.
Correct. That's cool. That game's still getting updates. There's that one of the like developer relations, or investor relations things they did a little while ago. Nintendo talked about the importance of adding more content to existing games, and they cited things like that Luigi balloon thing in Mario Odyssey and. Continued random support for Breath of the Wild, which, we're still seeing with stuff like the VR stuff we talked about earlier. But yeah, it's cool that game is about a year old and still getting support.
Yeah, the main thing that piqued my interest was that cinematic. Like, pretty much a new cinematic starring Wario and Waluigi. Mm-hmm. Like, it is what it is. But hopefully that's like another like chapter to the adventure mode. That'd be cool.
I don't know. You liked the adventure mode, sort of, right?
Yeah, I thought it was fine. Like, if you're buying the game for the adventure mode, it was a disappointment. But
sure.
As like an added bonus to just playing tennis, it was a good little addition. I wouldn't. Yeah, I just wouldn't buy the game for it because it's short, but it is a good thing that it's short because it was starting just to get repetitive. It was a good balance at the end of the day. It's just
not a good standalone.
Yeah.
Reason to buy that game.
Yeah, they've added modes, since that time too. But I know they're getting the ring shot now, but they've done other stuff. They did the challenge map in the adventure mode where like you can just do different challenges, and I think that's how you got the first cosmetics.
Oh, they did add cosmetics.
I forget. It was only for like certain characters.
Oh.
And then now there's the doubles as well, doubles ranked play, like online.
Well, there's this limited time mode called Yoshi's Ring Shot, where you can you hit the ball through different color rings to win different color Yoshis.
Yeah, so I now thanks to Twitch Prime, I have a subscription. I'm going to revisit this at some point. I don't know for how long, but
it's still installed on your Switch, right? You didn't...
Yeah, I know.
So I was really excited about this when this news dropped, and then I'm not anymore. Turn 10 Studios announces Forza Street for PC and mobile devices. Out now on Windows, coming soon to iOS and Android. I was like, dude, dope. Like a weird little Forza game for my phone. Downloaded it on Windows. You don't drive, Matt.
Yeah, I know. Like, what the fuck?
You just click and hold a button so that the car drives automatically, and you let go when it hits turns so it can drift, and then you click it again to step on the gas, and then it's over. It's like a drag race simulator, but not specifically drag, because it's not just a straight lane. It's not fun. And what I saw is it's like a rebranded mobile game that already exists called Miami Street. So yeah, but I guess there's achievements, so if that's something.
No, just play solitaire.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. So then, Tuesday morning? Yes. Tuesday morning. 8 a.m. Wired. Dropping a hot little tagline here. If you've not heard about this, pull over. It's time. We talked about the PlayStation 5. Wired exclusive, what to expect from Sony's next-gen PlayStation. Had an exclusive interview with Mark Cerny to talk about what he's been up to. So the report kind of runs down everything. No, I don't want to sign up from your stories for the future. Yeah, so CPU, GPU upgrades, obviously. Next generation console, starting with an AMD chip at the center of it. But they use the word ray tracing, Matt.
That's a fun word to use.
Yes. But also Mark Cerny talked about ray tracing in more than just what we've come to know about it, which is, the different ways to do lighting effects. Talked about it as a way to integrate 3D audio. Talked about how audio didn't change too much between PS3 and 4, so the next-gen console is to show how dramatically different the audio experience can be, is a quote, when we apply significant amounts of hardware horsepower to it. He still thinks that the gold standard will be headphone audio, which is fine. I don't like using headphones when I play. I don't know.
No.
I like the idea of immersion, but it doesn't practically make sense for me, When
There's
I've done it, it works.
There's only select games that I want to do it, and that's the ones that they kind of market on the sound manipulation, like a Hellblade,
right?
And Tetris effects.
Yep. But I just don't, generally speaking, I just want to pop out of my TV. I don't have.
Yeah, even at my computer, I'm using headphones.
Yeah. Additionally, we heard a little bit about the idea behind the hard drive. So.
This is exciting.
This is super exciting.
This is exciting, but this worries me a little bit.
Why does it worry you?
Price.
Yeah. So, solid state drives. I looked into this for PS4 because I'm so fucking tired of my hard drive being full. So a few months back, I ended up buying an external to plug into that thing just to back games up onto and play off of there. But I considered about swapping out the internal with an SSD. But for the price, and I looked at one of the Digital Foundry breakdowns or whatever the hell, and it just didn't seem worth it price-wise to, shave a few seconds off of it. But what we hear here is that it's not just popping an SSD, and he kind of calls that out in this whole thing too. But they're not just going to pop an SSD into this thing and say, hey, it's a fucking day. But Mark Cerny points out that same thing that we kind of just lamented. He doesn't talk about it on a PlayStation. He talks about blaming Excel and Word changing between for 15 seconds. But shows during this demonstration a PlayStation 4 Pro playing Spider-Man. He does the fast travel. Takes about 15 seconds to go from one spot to another in Manhattan. On this new dev kit, using the this custom SSD, the same 15-second load took 0.8 seconds. Which is fucking cool.
That's nuts.
Really cool.
Like Red Dead. Or GTA 5.
Like, can you imagine?
Just booting into, like, if you're booting into that game from the main menu, the game takes forever.
Yeah.
Both. 5, Red Dead.
That we always made was about Destiny, Like, hey, you gotta go. As soon as someone in the party goes, I gotta go back to the tower, it's like, all right, great, I'm gonna go fucking pee and go get a drink because I hate this.
Crush beers like Stone Cold while you go.
Yeah, like, I'm gonna go walk the dogs. See you guys in an hour.
I'm gonna go to work and work an 8-hour shift. I'll be back just in time.
No, you won't. I'll still be in orbit, waiting to load. But yeah, I mean, that was something that like almost got me to start playing Destiny on PC, and I was like, I'm not doing that. But
yeah, after you have to grind the same character. Yeah.
But that's really exciting. The combination of games being big as fuck and taking forever to download, and those load times can certainly suck. Additionally, we heard about Death Stranding a little bit. So Cerny confirmed that the next PlayStation will be backwards compatible directly with PlayStation 4. And when asked about Death Stranding, whether or not it's going to be coming out on PlayStation 4, this is after they kind of talked about games will be released for both PlayStation 4 and the next gen console. This, obviously led the interviewer to ask about Death Stranding. It says here that a spokesperson in the room repeated that the game would be released for PS4, but Cerny's smile and pregnant pause invites speculation that it will in fact be a 2-platform release. I don't think it'll be a 2-platform release. I've been thinking a lot about that this week, and I think what PlayStation is about to do is the same thing that Xbox is about to do. This is the same thing that PCs have done for years, where yes, you're getting a better box, but we're just going to have a platform at this point.
Yeah.
I think it'll be a single SKU. You just buy Death Stranding. If you have a PS4, it's going to work on your PS4. But if you have PS5, or I assume that's what they're calling it, it'll work on there as well with all of these extra hooks in it. You'll get faster load times. You'll get this. You'll get ray tracing. You'll get whatever the fuck. I think we're kind of moving to that point now where, I don't know. From a market standpoint, I don't know how you market that. You know what I mean? Like, I can see it being like a fucking, like the 3DS thing where like you'd go to the store, it's a 3DS box, but in the top right corner it's got the little extra colors, so it just says like works on 3. You know what I mean? Like I can
see
that
all sparkly and look,
I can see that.
I don't pay attention to it, but I like to think I'm well tuned into the gaming industry. Yeah. I don't fucking understand the DS situation.
It's the same as it's always been.
What do you mean the same as it's always? Like there's a DSi, a DS Lite, the new Nintendo. Like I don't.
Oh, all right. Let me break it down for you.
I don't know. You've done this before on air, and I still just goes right over my head.
The DS was the DS. The DS Lite was a revision of that was just a different form factor. The DSi removed the GBA backwards compatibility turned on region locking, and implemented the eShop for the first time on DS. They didn't call it that, or did they? I can't remember. It was something like that. DSiWare is what it was, like WiiWare. And it added a camera to it. You had the DSi XL, which was going after the Brain Age crowd. And then you had, and those were just iterations of the same thing, the same way that you had the Game Boy Pocket, the Game Boy Light, which is a backlit Japan only release. But then you had the Game Boy Color, which was a true successor, as the way the 3DS was a true successor, but also backwards compatible. I think that's where we're going with this. I think PlayStation 5 will be a badass box, and if you download Bloodborne on it, it'll run smoother and look better and whatever. Because that seems to be, if you look at what Xbox has done in the last 2 years, I think, or 3 years, where the lines are almost blurred, you know? Like, it doesn't matter. If I buy a game and I have an Xbox, I can play that game.
Yeah.
If I buy an Xbox One X right now, all those games will get those the ones that support it will get those, enhancements to it for Xbox One X. There's still a differentiation between what's a 360 game, what's an Xbox game, and what's an Xbox One game. Just like I'm sure there are going to be games that are so powerful they will only run on the next-gen Xbox hardware. But I feel like we will get a little bit more. I think he even says it as much, Mark Cerny, about that kind of softer transition between these generations.
I mean, it's still like, I don't know, like someone might sit there and say like, oh, well, you're going to make it hard for the developers to develop because they're not going to be focused. I mean, it's still easier. Two boxes or maybe 3 of the PS4 Pro, 3 SKUs is still a lot less than every fucking computer SKU you could have in the world, including NVIDIA or AMD. Like, those, just the processor itself is a completely different architecture in a way. And then you got your graphics cards, that's a completely different architecture. It's like, it's still less complicated.
Yeah, it's still a box you're going to go to Target and buy.
Yeah. God damn what the Steam box could have been.
I know. VR is still a part of the conversation. Did not announce a new revision of that hardware necessarily, but it was implied. And Mark Cerny confirms that your current PSVR hardware will work with the new console.
What's going to be exciting about that is because they should go USB-C or Thunderbolt 3 and have that co-processor. Ugh.
Do that, and
you do
also
that right with external GPUs and stuff like that.
And please get inside-out tracking, so I don't need that shitty fucking camera.
Oh,
be so good.
Yeah, I mean, you can do so much with that. Just 1 or 2 of those ports in there.
Yeah.
And then that little co-processor. Like you can probably have the same size box and have it do far more because of just the data transfer rate.
I'm excited. Like hearing that, I was like, oh, maybe I will buy a PlayStation VR. I was like, nah, maybe I'll wait.
No, wait to see because they might come out with a clearer.
It's probably gonna be 18 months until a new one comes out, but it's still like I'd rather do that than like, unless I can get one of those current gen ones for like $100. I found like a cool, dude. $100 isn't bad to play Tetris Effect inside of my own little.
Yeah,
world.
I mean that's fine, but I don't. When they do the second one, the software, they're gonna have like another. They have to have another Resident Evil 7 thing.
Oh, 1,000%.
So like, I'll wait for that.
Yes, but just to fuck around with Tetris some more.
I'll get Tetris on the cheap.
$100.
Like Tetris would be there waiting when you get it. It's looking even better.
You mean like Capcom's home arcade? Looking even better than the promise of a PlayStation 5? You haven't looked at this thing yet, have you? I drew it for you, but you didn't know it was real. So, yep, there you go. You saw it. PlayStation 5 aside, same day, not to be outdone by Mark Cerny's peek into the future, Capcom announced 16 classic arcade titles coming to the Capcom home arcade, celebrating a true champion of arcade gaming. So, if you've not seen this, listener out there, I want you to imagine the Capcom logo. Got it? All right. Now imagine that Capcom logo is 3 feet wide in your living room, and atop it are arcade buttons and arcade sticks.
That's magical.
Is it? Yeah. HDMI out. You plug it right into your TV.
All this does is prove to me that I should open up every single link on Slack. Never just assume. Never just assume you have the gist of the article without looking at it.
Yeah.
Because I totally missed something special there until just now.
Like, what the fuck? There was a tease the day before where they showed, like, super zoomed in. Like, it was, I'm showing Matt here, but it was, like, even zoomed in more than that. Like, you saw, like, the fragment of a button, and you saw the reflection of these games in the screen. It was like, yo, are they about to put out because you see Darkstalkers. Like, are they going to put out Darkstalkers on Switch or something? Better. So here's a list of games, because that's what really matters. 1944, The Loot Master, Alien vs. Predator, which is kind of cool licensing-wise. Armored Warriors, Capcom Sports Club, Captain Commando, Cyberbots, Full Metal Madness, Darkstalkers, The Night Warriors, Echo Fighters, Final Fight, Ghouls and Ghosts, Giga Wing, Mega Man The Power Battle, Pro Gear, Street Fighter 2, Hyper Fighting, Strider, and Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo. How much would you pay for that?
I mean, just to hang up the Capcom logo, not even play it, just to hang it up,
sure.
I think I would pay $60.
$60. What would you expect they're charging for it? You're willing to pay $60.
Like I said, that's just to hang it up.
Sure.
I don't know. Like I'm trying to think like an arcade person. I don't know. I think you maybe get away with 100.
Get away with 100. All right. What would you do if I told you it was 199?
Not buy it.
Okay.
Because the thing is, you have to. How sturdy is the board? Like, is it like cheap plastic or is it like? Is it?
So
a
that
fucking
is
board?
actually the one cool thing. They're using Sanwa sticks and the buttons are all. I forget. Everything is like really actually well made stuff.
Yeah, so
runs on like a Linux backend. It uses the FB Alpha emulation. There's some stuff here that's pretty cool. It's also got Wi-Fi built into it, so theoretically they could pipe out firmware updates or new games.
I wonder. I mean, maybe it says it. I wonder if like you could also use it as a controller if you wanted to.
Doesn't seem that you can. However,
that would have been cool.
I don't see why you couldn't buy this and mod it. And
yeah, that's true.
Take it around town.
Saw the cap off.
Yeah. Fuck.
What player are you? I'll take cap.
Yeah. Just break it in half. Dibs on com. Xbox. Right there as well. So Xbox announced later that, same day, Tuesday, that its E3 press conference is happening Sunday, June 9th at 4 p.m. I'm so excited for E3.
And with that, I'll take that half point that's lingering from Tony Hawk for a prediction that I got wrong.
Don't take that point. You don't want that point.
Told you I'm going to come around next year and take that point.
And we got, along with that news later that afternoon, we got a new episode of Inside Xbox, which detailed some pretty, I think, cool stuff. I got the Xbox One S All Digital Edition. That's the Xbox One Shot A. Coming out at $249.99 United States dollars. Xbox One comes with Minecraft, Forza Horizon 3, and Sea of Thieves. You also get a special offer for Game Pass. It's $1 for 3 months, or your first 3 months are $1 a piece, or something like that.
Yeah.
You know,
I
like,
don't know. Why not just have it as a Minecraft box at $199?
Yeah.
Like having it $50 less than an S. Like,
it's weird. The form factor didn't change. It's literally just like
that. I understand though.
Yeah, I do, but also like if this were like a Mac Mini style thing that like you could get for like $150, I don't know. Like that would prolong the life of the Xbox One, I feel.
But I feel like because they're not changing the form factor,
they don't have to put a lot of money into R&D and all
exactly.
That
And
yeah, I know.
you can drop the price to $199.
Yeah, that too.
Like that's the price is the failure here. And if the price,
I don't know. I just
take out 2 of those games. Take out Forza Horizon 3. Like,
because you're pushing Game Pass, which has Forza Horizon 4.
Yeah.
And Sea of Thieves and Minecraft.
Make it the Minecraft box. Have that one. Cause me and you were talking about this the other day.
Yeah.
Like I can see, like a less informed parent.
Yeah.
Whatever.
My kid wants to play Minecraft. I'm tired of him touching my phone.
Yeah. Just have that as the on-board games. That way, like, you know, if they don't want to do Game Pass, at least Minecraft's still there to dick around with.
Yeah. It's just weird.
It should have been $199. Because
yeah, $199 would have been. Now, what they did say, very specific to point out, old Larry Herb there, that whenever the standard Xbox One S or X gets a price drop or for sale or anything like that, this will still retain its $50 difference from the Xbox One S with a disc. So, like, I got my Xbox One S on a Black Friday deal for like $150. Is that right? Was it that cheap?
Maybe.
I think it was.
Yeah, they dropped down. It might have been $199.
I feel like it was.
I mean,
it was cheap as fuck. Cause that was what I was like. All right, fuck it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I whatever it was, that would have meant mine was the digital one would be $100, which is, you know, even if I got mine for $199 and this would be $150 with it, that's pretty damn good. I think regularly these things go on sale for $199 ish.
Yeah.
So dropping it down to $150 is pretty good.
Like, wasn't mine on sale?
Probably.
Was it $250 or now I don't remember. It might have been $300. Even at $300 as opposed to this, I didn't get a game, but I got 3 free months of Xbox Live Gold, and then 3 free months of Game Pass. Like,
it's pretty good.
I'd rather have that than $249.
Right.
No disc.
Yeah, it's
like no disc, and then 3 games I don't want.
No.
I'm fine with the games part. It's just like if that's the part that's making it from $199 to $249, I feel like that's a loss.
Yeah. And
I think that's it. I think they're like, oh, you're getting 3 games.
Yeah. Yeah. Why not just give them? I don't know. It's cool though if like you've been on the fence and you're waiting on it and like, you know, it hits a good price. You know, sometimes that $50 makes or breaks.
That's true.
You know,
yeah.
I mean that's a fucking night worth of Papa John's. So go for it. Speaking of Game Pass, Xbox announced Xbox Game Pass Ultimates. So for $14.99 a month, you get Xbox Live Gold and Xbox Game Pass combined in one monthly subscription. Previously, it'd be $10 a piece if you're paying month to month, so it'd be $19.99. However, it's still roughs out to the same price if you're doing Gold on an annual subscription and Game Pass month to month. It's even cheaper. If like I bought my last year of Gold, I bought. Did I do Black Friday? Or I bought like some random sale they had where it was like $15 off the normal thing, and I got Plus on Black Friday. So
I would love if they packaged it together annually. I don't see them doing that though.
No, this makes too much sense to just because everybody likes monthly subscriptions. Everything's a fucking monthly subscription. You can't buy a toothbrush anymore without it being.
I know it sounds like a lot, but like I'm so down just paying $99 a year, like you would for Prime or something close to that for Prime nowadays. Yeah,
that's what I mean. Plus, I've done that for years. Gold. When I got my Xbox, I got into that. Something else.
As long as you remember, like.
Right, yeah. You got to know what's coming up. We heard a little bit about Game Bar on Windows 10. Which to me, you know, they spent a good few minutes spinning over to this segment and like talking to the team about it that's developing it. 2 guys. I mean, they're not the only people, but they were the ones representing it, of course.
2 interns in the queue.
Yeah. They got done working on Breath of the Wild VR. Brought them over here to work on Game Bar. So adding Spotify integration, we heard about the ability to customize what is happening in Game Bar when you go into game mode with Windows key and G. And then they're adding the looking for group LFG feature to Game Bar. So you can quickly find people to play with, which is cool. It's been on Xbox for a really long while, which I've never utilized, but it's cool that it's there. If I needed that. It made me fire up Windows and like fuck around on there for a little bit and just go, oh yeah, okay, I got a game bar. But you'll be excited, Matt. New competitive game mode and story-rich quests coming to Sea of Thieves. Is that the big, the April 30th. So that big anniversary update that's coming. The arena thing, or the competitive thing, is these 24-minute matches. It's a competitive game mode in the arena. And then there's Tall Tales, so these story-driven quests that play out in the shared world. Shores of Gold is the first collection of these. And you get to travel across the seas to look for the mythical Shores of Gold.
I'm not opposed to this.
They're adding a little bit to it. I want to dive back into that game once this update rolls out, just to see like where it's at. What it's like, because I had fun with it last year, but that fun kind of dried up after a few play sessions.
Yeah, because there's no point A to point B.
You don't necessarily need one. Like, it was one of those things where it's just like,
It can be the loosest of guidelines, but I need like a pie in the sky to try to get
something to chase.
Yeah. I mean, even Minecraft has you want to get to the Nether at the end of the day. Like,
Was that always there though? I feel like that was added.
It wasn't.
Later. I felt, but that early bit
added
of just
it.
Like, of like fucking around though. Like you can still fuck around. I think. TBS is going to be premiering a new Gears Esports E-League summer series.
Fine.
Yeah. It's one of those things that goes like behind the players. I think E-League previously worked with Rocket League and some other game to talk about their esports scene.
Was that Rainbow Six?
Might have been. Yeah.
I remember they did that series. I don't know who did it though.
They seem pretty excited about it during this Inside Xbox thing. What's his face? Rod Ferguson, the head of Gears, or the head of the coalition.
I mean, that's cool. As like I said last week, like I don't think of Gears and esports in the same like realm, but I'm sure it's out there.
No, yeah.
Everything is esports now, so
yeah. Now this one was kind of a cheat, but 6 beloved titles join Xbox One backward compatibility with Xbox One enhancements. Some of these games were already available on backwards compatibility, but they got updated with the Xbox One X enhancements. But these 6 are all enhanced. The big one I think that everyone was waiting for was Ninja Gaiden 2 is now added to backwards compatibility. I feel like every time there was a conversation, be it on Twitter or anything about backwards compatibility on Xbox, all the comments were just, it was, the same thing when a fucking Nintendo tweet goes out and everyone's like, where's the Direct? Like, that's the first thing. It's like, where's Ninja Gaiden 2? So shut the fuck up. Here it is kind of what and they kind of said as much. But Ninja Gaiden 2, Fable 2, Fable 3, Splinter Cell Blacklist, Splinter Cell Conviction, and Splinter Cell Double Agent. All backwards compatible and all enhanced on Xbox One X. They showed a little bit of Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, a little bit of Rage 2, and a little bit of Warhammer Chaos Bane. Nothing that I was... Rage 2, I'm dope. It seems dope. Excited about that.
Yep.
FanFest at E3 again. And then Phil Spencer talked about E3, Xbox Studios, and xCloud, which got me real excited. I rewatched that segment with Phil Spencer a few times. One, just because he's charming, and I like watching him get excited about things.
SSGSS Spencer.
But it was neat. He talked about traveling to Japan and Korea lately to go talk to development teams, talk about E3 with them, and Major Nelson kind of pushed him a little bit about noticing, because I noticed this too, because I follow Phil Spencer on Xbox, so when I see like what my friends are playing, he pops up there, and there was a period in time where, like, the middle of the day, he was just doing nothing but playing Destiny 2. And I was like, the fuck? Like, hey, man, I'm not judging anybody. Maybe he's on vacation. Maybe he's an executive. He does what the fuck he wants, right? But it was just, like, weird. It was like, dang, dude, does someone else play his... It just didn't think about it, and he was in Japan, so he was 13 hours ahead, and he had he's got a build of xCloud running on his phone that he talks about it in this little thing. He's like, "Yep, really cool. Just take my fucking controller and play Destiny, real ass Destiny on my phone," which was like, man, that's fucking cool. Like just the idea of being like. I was at the fucking airport or at the hotel last weekend, like being there and not having to, not that taking my Switch was like a whole thing, but like just that idea that I could jump back into whatever, like that when we were running through all the Halo games, or we still need to get back to that, but like, you know what I mean? Like I wouldn't be impeded by that, or better yet, like I don't need to come down here and sit in the basement and turn on like I can just do that from wherever, which is pretty fucking cool. He did hint, Phil Spencer, that we'll see a little bit more out of what's happening from Xbox Game Studios. So a lot of those acquisitions, he said we'll start to see some of those games, not all of them, but some, which is exciting.
I know we're still a couple months out, or less than 2 months, as you said earlier, but I think once again, Microsoft's going to have the most interesting, going in, it's the one I'm most interested for.
Oh my god, yeah. Well, he says as much. In the little thing, he says, he's like, we're the only platform holder who's still holding a press conference this year. So we kind of feel that responsibility, and it's exciting and whatever, but we also want to make sure that we're doing the best to represent the industry and what we want to do and whatever. And I don't know. I'm very, very, very excited.
I don't know. Hopefully Nintendo actually has a real direct and not one evolved around one game. So,
yeah, what if that one game is Mother 3? Just kidding. I feel like it'll be a good breadth of content from Nintendo this year.
I mean, you got it. Last year, it was just, in a 30-second montage.
Yeah.
You announced Overcooked 2 for 3 seconds and moved on.
Yeah. A lot of Smash Brothers. Even when it was over, it still kept going. Street Fighter V has a little free trial running right now, or starting Tuesday. Coincidentally, same day that Mortal Kombat 11 launches.
Good luck.
Yeah. GameStop offering full credit. Store credit within 48 hours of a game launch, starting with Days Gone. So, don't know what that says. But if you buy a game and you don't like that game, you can bring it back. No questions asked. Get a full refund within 48 hours of its launch.
In-store credit.
Yep. In-store credit. But that's kind of
still
cool. More than they were doing before.
And it's the longest return policy of anyone, technically, because Steam's only 10 hours, right?
10 hours of gameplay, yeah.
Yeah, so, you could hypothetically...
Potentially just stay up, beat that game, take it back. You're stuck in their ecosystem. It's $60 of revolving credit.
It's like anywhere else, though.
True.
PlayStation, you don't get your...
True.
You get PlayStation credit back.
Does that work the same in Europe?
I don't know.
They have different laws and shit over there.
Steam, same way. Get Steam credit back.
Yeah. Speaking of Sony exclusive video games, Last of Us Part 2's final scene has been shot. In a post to Twitter, Neil Druckmann revealed that Ashley Johnson and Troy Baker wrapped shit up, which confirms Joel. Which I guess we already knew.
Even if it's for one scene, like just him getting fucking axed to death or whatever. I don't know. I don't like that they tweeted that last page of the fucking screenplay.
Yeah, I didn't see what it said, but
all it said was cut to black, not fade, a cut to black, which means we're gonna have probably
The Last of Us Part 3 in 2025.
Well, not that, but it's gonna.
You think it'll be another?
It's gonna be another one.
They can't.
It's gonna be another Part 1 ending again.
I can hear the music cutting in too. Ah, shit, man. You think that's out this year? No, they just shot that final
I don't know.
scene.
What did my yearly predictions say? I forget. I think I said something about it probably. That and Death Stranding and Final Fantasy VII are like annual predictions.
I think that'll be a spring game next year.
Yeah. I mean, the first one came out right after E3.
Yeah. It's supposed to come out earlier than that, but it got pushed a little bit.
Yeah. Get that extra little work getting that made it from a 9 to a 10.
Yeah. Speaking of E3, the other E3, Gamescom, is getting its very own Jeff Keighley hosted announcement show.
So it's like the Game Awards minus the awards.
Yeah. Why not? So it'll be a new live stream show to kick off Gamescom 2019. Yeah.
You know, when it says major publishers, it means like THQ Nordic and Deep Silver, right?
Yeah, those are the two. We got a final reveal. We talked about this a little bit earlier, but of the entire Castlevania Anniversary Collection coming out next month. I'm a little worried, Matt. Not about the game list. I think the game list is top notch for this first edition of Castlevania Anniversary Collection. But that first Castlevania Arcade Collection came out this last week. And it's not great. Like, not as full featured as... Like on Switch, they didn't support Tate mode for arcade games. Come on. Get this shit together. You know what I mean? And it was a hamster port too, which hamster's pretty thorough and they allow you to jump between multiple versions of the games. This restricts you to the region that you're in, which sucks because the US version of Haunted Castle, while Haunted Castle's not great anyway, definitely not great here. Japanese version's probably the one you want. A couple of them, just Japanese versions are going to be the superior way to play. Although I'd like, as a way to celebrate the history, the option to play any of them. Don't have that. So I don't know, emulation aside, we'll see. However, the full list of games, we already knew that Castlevania 3, Dracula's Curse, Castlevania 2, Belmont's Revenge on the Game Boy, and Super Castlevania 4 were coming. And now we know, in addition to those, we get Castlevania Bloodlines for the Sega Genesis, Kid Dracula, which was only released in Japan, is coming here with an English translation, which is cool. Castlevania The Adventure, the aforementioned. And Castlevania 2, Simon's Quest on the NES. You ready?
I'm not playing
it's
that
time.
shit.
It's time. It's so good. It's so good. Anyway, we also learned May 16th is the release date for that. There's a hidden character in art from Retro Studios given to Reggie Fils-Aimé before leaving his desk. So Retro gave Reggie a little send-off. A bunch of people from the studio signed it. And pictured are Reggie, Donkey Kong, Diddy Kong, Dixie Kong, some Metroids, Samus, and then some robot hand that is blocked by a statue of Mario that we can't see. And at first, because I was like grilling and he tweeted this out, and I was like, oh, cool. Didn't think anything of it, didn't look any closer, just like, oh, that's sweet. Because he wrote in the reply, like, yes, that's a real working Virtual Boy. And I was like, oh, look at that, there's a Virtual Boy in that picture. That was it. Then someone tweeted, a concept artist from Retro Studios quoted Reggie's tweet and put a winky face. So someone responded and said, "Is that ? And he wrote back, yes, with a gif of Goofy doing some like weird hand stuff. So yeah. What do you think? Brand new? Something we've seen before?
I don't know. I honestly do not know.
People seem to think it's Teleroboxer.
I have no idea.
It's a
no idea.
old. Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe something new. Let them do something new. Let there be some new IPs.
What if it's a Metal Star Fox?
Could be a Metal Star Fox.
And they're still doing that Star Fox Grand Prix thing that was rumored.
I don't want that.
Don't know. You might not want that, but I'll tell you what you might want. 10 new Sega Genesis games announced for the miniature Genesis coming out later this year. This thing just keeps getting better. So revealed on a Famitsu stream this week, Thunder Force 3, Super Fantasy Zone. Sorry, hold on, let me read the US list, not the Japanese list. Thunder Force 3, Castle of Illusion starring Mickey Mouse, World of Illusion starring Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck, Streets of Rage 2, Super Fantasy Zone, Contra Hardcore, Probotector, Landstalker, Shinobi 3, The Ninja Master, Earthworm Jim, and Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Join the list. If you're wondering, this is the Sega Genesis Mini, which is the emulation's all being done by M2, which means it's going to be fucking dope. I'm so fucking excited for this. Like, so excited. You gonna buy one?
I don't know. I doubt it. I was never a Sega person growing up.
Now's the time.
The only reason I have the SNES one is because I'm reliving my childhood, you know?
Yeah, that's true. Ben and I keep texting about it and getting real stoked. Microsoft making VR better for those with vision problems. Microsoft researchers have made a toolkit for Unity VR developers to help players with low vision. There's some stuff to do, different things with brightness, contrast, bifocal, better object description on the screen that's not just showing the image itself, but, kind of adding captions or subtitles to an object, as well as going as far as recoloring things just so they're easier for those with color blindness and things like that.
Microsoft's just way ahead of the game on this.
Yeah,
like
absolutely. So 14 different tools to help those with low vision. It's cool. It's really cool. And then last, from what I've got here, unless anything else pops up, Virtual Racing launches April 25th in Japan on the Nintendo Switch as the next in line of the Sega Ages collection. The previously mentioned M2 doing the emulation there, and that game should be out America shortly following, probably. These games have been top notch. I just bought Game Ground recently. Playing that a little bit. Never played it before, but pretty good. But I've been playing Phantasy Star through that. The original Sonic the Hedgehog is really cool because they put that out and they added the drop dash from Sonic Mania back into Sonic 1, which wasn't a thing, but it's cool that you can play it in the original mode or you can play it with their weird ROM hack stuff, which is fucking cool. And it's all perfect emulate. It's like uncanny. Whew, we did it.
Sure did.
Oh, no, we didn't. I found one more. Oh, my God. How did we miss shit? Two more. Can I do two more?
Yeah, you're fine.
Obsidian's canceled Aliens game was an RPG, or their canceled RPG was going to be a horror Mass Effect, as it was described. Can you imagine? All that kind of world building and relationship building, but all set in some spooky ass. Fuck.
Yeah, and Obsidian can deliver a game after it gets through the rocky launch and bugs.
I know. I'm hoping that whatever they were working, I hope that parts of that end up in something they're working on in the future.
Oh, I'm sure it will.
I'd love I need something good horror. I haven't had a good horror game in a while.
Yeah, I mean, I know like Mass Effect's not a horror game, but when it leaned into that a little bit, it was interesting. It was definitely some of the better parts of that game.
If you had a whole ass game of that,
because they had like Thrall, they had like a swarm enemy like you see in Destiny. They had something very similar to that, and it was good. Like when you got into the depths of that. Yeah.
Yep. And our last news story of the week. I totally forgot about this. But the version 3.0 update of Super Smash Bros. Is out to join Mario Tennis in its 3.0 celebration. Super Smash Bros. Adds Joker from Persona 5 to Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Adds a stage builder. There's already been some cool stuff. They've built in penis detection so that people who try and make dick-shaped levels are being blocked. However, that doesn't mean that people didn't just draw people fucking that aren't shaped like dicks and turn that into a stage and put it out there. So there you go. The one that I really like that I've still yet to figure out how to fucking download. Someone rebuilt the DVD pause screen so it bounces around the fuck. God, it's so good. And yeah, I tried out Joker. He's all right. He's got a gun, just kind of fun.
He's got a gun, but yet Mario couldn't have a gun, and Mario and rabbits.
Yeah, and Snake couldn't use his guns in Super Smash Bros. Brawl a decade ago. But, here we are, 2019.
It's fine. A high school kid can use a gun. That's fine.
Didn't think about that one.
Yeah.
But the stage builder, what I like about it is, gives you a little peek into what is likely going to happen with Mario Maker. If you're docked, they've got specific tools, but if you're holding the Switch in your hand, they just let you draw your stage with your finger. which seems very much like.
And then you're going to be able to find those stages, no problem.
Yeah. So they added the Smash World update to the Nintendo Switch Online app that allows you to explore created content through Super Smash Bros. Via the app on your phone. However, I didn't find a way to search for someone's stage. It sends you like a feed of stages. So if you find one in that feed that you happen to like, you can push it to your console to download. You can also back up clips and edit them now of things that happen, which that's not really for me, but you know, if someone's been waiting to do that, kind of seems similar to that like PlayStation Share Factory thing.
Yeah.
Kind of cut together.
Sure.
Yeah. And there it is, I think. Earl's hard at work over there. I think we might be... Well, we got the one video, MLB going up. We're slowly getting back on track from all the traveling and schedule changes and things like that. Sicknesses. Yeah, I think that's everything I got. Unless you got anything, Matt.
No. Nope.
All right. Well, thanks for hanging out. If you like this episode, you can find it and the rest of our episodes over on thefreecheese.com.
Email. I didn't say it last time.
Podcast at thefreecheese.com. John Romero. That's what I wanted to tell you from last week. It's the one thing. You said George Romero.
Oh, did I really?
Yeah. It happens. They're both involved with dope-ass horror stuff. They get the same last name. John Romero.
Yeah.
But you did a great job. Go listen to that episode if you didn't. I don't know why you wouldn't have. You should listen to all of them. All the podcasts are good. Thefreecheese.com Twitters. The Free Cheese is at Some Free Cheese. Matt is at MattyX131. And I am at The Free Cheese. Did I say that right? Sounds good to me. That's it.
The FCW is at Free Cheese.
Oh my gosh.
FCW.
Keep forgetting. It's a new one. You break my brain. I gotta get that into the mix.
Still interesting stuff. Now that I'm not in charge anymore.
Oh, you're right. You're passing on the reins.
Yeah, I'm not the commish.
Just
watching from afar now, and it's turning to chaos.
Yeah. I'm excited. May. Sometime in May, we'll have our next big one. That's it.
Be the 16th?
Sure. I don't remember. You texted me. I don't remember. Whenever the next WWE thing is, when the next FCW thing is.
Well, yeah, Money in the Bank's the 19th, I think. So it would be the 17th.
That's 17th, that Friday. There it is. May 17th. Mark your calendars, kids.
Well, maybe. I don't know.
All right. Don't mark them tentatively. And we'll be back next week. We're only a few away from episode 300. Whew, I know. It's crazy. Crazy. And then a few more after that, we'll be at E3. I know. All right. Happy E3. We'll see you soon. Thanks, Matt. Thanks, listener, for listening. We'll see you next time.